Greetings and welcome back, one and all, to Reassembly, the fourth day of Reassembly. To be exact, we have a reasonably powerful fleet with us. We have the Nebuchadnezzar, we have the Titan bot, and we also have the... where are you? The Tess. I keep forgetting that name. I'm sorry, the Tess. So your name doesn't stick in my head as well as the Nebuchadnezzar for obvious reasons. I mean, come on. Nebuchadnezzar, what an awesome name for a ship. I am proud to have you in the fleet for name alone. Look at all those crazy missiles just going bonkers there. Right, now, in this episode, we're going to be making something a little bit different. We've been making very large ships, as you can see. Well, you're more of a mid-sized ship, really, but no, it's time that we work on something a little bit more modest. We are going to be making a kind of a frigate, well, something along those lines anyway. It might not necessarily be a frigate, but certainly something a little bit more modest, a little bit smaller, but more of a fighter craft, this one, not long range like all of the others have been. And for this, we're going to need some interesting shapes, I fancy. We're going to want to put our thrusters in interesting positions. Let's see. We don't want the rear of the vessel to be too close to the cockpit, because that would introduce a vulnerability into the design. So how about we start off? We're going to need a lot of power for this particular build. So let's start as we mean to go on. We'll have one there. We'll also have one down here. Now, this one isn't going to be as crazy heavy on the shields as the others because it's not going to be an enormous craft. But it is going to be... it's going to have a certain amount of size to it that we need to respect. Now, question is... should I put this there or more around here? I'm wondering... Well, the thing that's going through my mind is how we're going to set up the thrusters. I don't necessarily want the thrusters literally just right next to the shield like that, so we'll bring it out by one. But we're going to have a bank of about 5 thrusters. Now, we're going to make a lot of these, I think. We're going to need a lot of maneuverability on this craft because it's going to be more of a strike craft than anything else. We'll have a little anchor point there, and then we can anchor you into that. I'm not sure about this thruster design yet. In fact, I'm really not sure about it. I would like it to have a little bit more protection around the thrusters than this offers. Perhaps I can build out in some way? Maybe? I'm not sure. Because as much as I want it to have a very, very specific aesthetic, I don't want it to be vulnerable. For obvious reasons. No, I think we need something else here. We need a less sharp edge to it. That looks a little bit better, maybe. And then we've got a lot more thrust as a result. So this is going to have an awful lot of speed on it. Okay, I'm liking this so far. Let's continue to expand this out. We'll continue to have these banks of thrusters there. Okay, so this has already got a lot of speed. We are going to need to continue to build towards that strength. We're going to want some armor, a reasonable amount. Again, we'll build out the actual shape, and then we'll go through the shape, taking out these huge building blocks and replacing it with functional components as we need to. Now, I would like you to rotate this time. Yes. That will do. Let's expand that out again. And you know what? What I would really like is something like that going on. So, let's try and create an edge for that. How about you going there and then like that? Yeah, that looks okay. Mirror that. Okay. Now, of course, we are going to need reverse propulsion as well. So perhaps what we could do is build that out here, maybe? Something in there. Now, I don't want too much of this reverse propulsion to be at the front of the craft, otherwise that's going to introduce weakness. So we'll go ahead and we'll build these blocks like this. I'm actually quite liking this idea of using these blocks as just padding out the craft, and then we can adjust it later on. Now we do need a lot of maneuverability for this design. That is an integral part to it. So let's grab 5 of you, and we'll place plenty of thrusters along the inside, but then we'll go back to building this out. Now this is much more blocky than I was intending it to look, so we're probably going to need to start putting a little bit more shape to this. Yes, we are actually. You know what? Putting all of these there was probably a bad decision. Let's scale that back a little bit and pull these in. Then we can get rid of that, and we can start shaping this wall a little bit. There we go. That's what we need. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So we've got another large cockpit section, effectively. And well, that's fine on the surface. But it isn't exactly what I wanted. We don't want this to be too long. We'll make it about this wide and continue trying to get this kind of aesthetic going on. There we go. Then we'll see where we can place new blocks. Something there. Okay, that's not too bad. Yes, I really like this idea of just using these large, kind of Duplo-sized blocks to get the rough shape, and then we'll go around and use Lego-sized blocks to give it its detail. Yes, I like this idea. Well done, everyone, for suggesting it to me. Let's go with this. Yes, I like having these sections built off the sides here. Gives it a bit more of an interesting look. Okay, yes, I like that. We've got a lot of maneuverability here. Now what we need are shields. And we are going to need a reasonable amount of them, so we don't want to overwhelm this thing with shields, but at the same time, we don't want to let it be easily taken out either. So we're going to have a middling amount of shields, I think. Where are my shields? Shield projector, there we go. There we are. That gives protection at the back there. Probably have maybe one here and then one towards the front. That would probably give us enough shielding for what we want. This one's going to be a fairly cheap vessel compared to the others, I imagine, but there's nothing wrong with that specifically. I was trying to have them all at the same sort of cost, but well, I suppose I could make just a very powerful type of ship along the kinds of design idea I had. There's something to be said about that, actually. Okay, maybe we will have a few more shields than I was initially intending. We'll stack up the shield defenses. Just make sure that if something wants to get through this, it's really going to have to work quite hard to do it. We've got plenty of forward thrust. I don't think we need more than that. But I think we probably could do with a little bit more reverse thrust. So, although these are close to the side, and I'm a little bit hesitant to do this, I think this will give it the maneuverability it needs. Also, let's continue adding the maneuverability along the inside here as well. There we go. Right, we've got a very fast, very maneuverable craft. We'll finish off the nose as well. I just really like that little fighter kind of nose thing going on there. Now, we've got plenty of shielding. That is a good thing. Could probably even do with a little bit more at the back. I wonder, would that be a good idea or not? I can't tell you just yet, but we're going to build this out as well. And we're going to copy this down here. There we go. Then we're going to have some more shielding on these inside points. Then we're going to start adding in the weapon systems, I think. That gives us an awful lot of shielding there. Yes, I like that a lot. Okay, now for weapons. Now, once we start adding the weapons, we're going to start losing the armor, which is a bit of a pain. But what I'm thinking, banks and banks and banks of burst lasers. And for that reason, we're probably going to want another power generator about here. That'll do. But I've just noticed that that is a bit of a vulnerability, a bit of a huge vulnerability, actually. That one block in the middle there is controlling all of that, the connections for the front of the vessel. So, no, we're going to need to move things forward a little bit just to make sure that we aren't making it too easy to break this ship. There we go. It's always good to keep in mind for that. Test what is required to completely disconnect things from your vessel. Then you can correct any obvious flaws. Got loads of shields. Quite a lot of power generation as well. In fact, I could bury this generator in the middle either as well. Not as keen on doing that because of the amount of the thrusters being around this. It doesn't quite sit right with me, but well, you never know. We might need that extra power. Certainly with the amount of burst lasers we're going to be having. Yeah. The turrets, the laser turrets themselves, 100 at range 400 or 200 at range 1400. We're going to be going with a lot of these. An awful, awful lot of them. So let's start work on that. Let's begin with a couple of these built out. And then along here. We're not going to go all the way along, I don't think. Well, actually, we could, in a way, do this. There we go. Then we want burst lasers. Lots of burst lasers. We are going to want a fair chunk of flak on this as well. Or rather, just point defense. So we'll slip the point defense cannon in there. So that's the first block of death. We will add another block of death over here. Let's bring that out. We want lots of burst lasers. And get rid of you. There we are. Pull that down. Okay, now we're starting to get somewhere. We will take this out. We are going to want at least 2 burst laser point defense here. Let's get those in position first. In fact, I should have just copied that section entirely. But oh well. There we go. So another bank. Wow, this is expensive. I just noticed the cost that this has got. It's probably a little bit too high. Okay, let's rethink this. We've clearly gone overboard with the lasers. We wanted to be around the same sort of price range, so about the 3,500s-ish. Somewhere in there. Maybe one of these Jennies could go. They're expensive. Very expensive, in fact. And I could replace it with some flak cannons in the middle, maybe. Okay, that's not too bad. And then we could go back with some just regular defenses at the back. I mean, I don't know. This doesn't seem as powerful as I was hoping. Maybe I should cut back on some of the shields. Like this one in the middle isn't really affecting anything. So we could pull that down. And it's just these cost a lot to add. We want charge fire weapons though. That's the request. I could go with a plasma mortar, but I really like these. They cost a lot, but they're worth it in my opinion. Let's go with a bunch more flak cannons for some point defense. Also, we're going to want some more point defense along the side as well. But I think we've probably got the majority of the weapon systems that we're going to be employing. Let's place point defense cannons there and there. We'll have regular hull. And we'll just build that out like this. And point defense... no. Because I can't easily mirror that properly. We'll do this instead. There we are. That's nice and symmetrical. And then we can just copy all of that. One go. And copy it down. Perfect. It's an expensive craft still, but let's see how this works in practice. It's got some extra wingy bits that it doesn't really need, if we're completely honest with ourselves, but come on. You know they look good. It's not even any point trying to lie to yourselves about it. It looks awesome. Let's see. We could actually build that out, but there's no point. What about on this side? No, let's shrink it down. Let's not be crazy with them. Let's make the front fairly spiky, though. It must menace with spikes. This must be a craft that any dwarf would be willing to fly and would be proud to fly. There we go. It now menaces with sufficient spikes, I feel. Well, actually, no. Not sufficient yet. Let's shrink these down. Many more menacing spikes are required along the side. We'll actually do that like this instead. And mirror. There we go. There we are. It now menaces with spikes. Ah, beautiful. It is a spiky fighter. Wow, frigate. Kind of. Alright, let's test this out. It's 3,839. I think that's still a little bit much. So I'm probably going to have to look for a way to cut that back. Maybe I just need to pull you guys out of here. Let's get rid of you and copy one of these in. Okay, that's down to 3,600. That's a reasonable amount, I think. Let's test this out. It's going to be going against the Entrench. That is a lot of plasma mortars. Let us hope that the great amount of maneuverability I've given it, there we go, it's pulling down the enemy shields. It's losing some of its own. Come on, you can do this. I have all sorts of faith in you. Stop just taking plasma bullets to the face. Oh, we're not doing a whole lot of damage, but we are stripping his shields really fast. This is a tight battle, but we've still got a lot of firepower on our vessel. And it's still got a reasonable amount of maneuverability as well. It's starting to get in there. There we go, well done. That was a good victory there. You did take a bit of a pounding, but no, I'm fairly happy with what you managed. That's right, get in there, use the flak, take down those shields. You've got a lot of armor between the functional components, so you can take a fair bit of punishment without actually losing weapons, and you've got a whole bank of weapons right at the back as well. That was a convincing victory there. Well done. Okay, we are going against the Kisasaki Confederate Battlecruiser. That looks like a lot of pain. An awful lot of pain. That's right, keep hold of the weapons until you're in close and then release a full volley. And you're doing really well. Watch out though, you're taking a lot of firepower. Wow. I'm actually impressed with how well you dealt with that fight. Very well, in fact. And that first volley is deadly because it charges it up when it's out of range and while it's moving in to attack. So that first initial attack has got huge amounts of alpha damage, but you are losing your maneuverability. You've lost a lot of your guns there, but still, you came out on top, I think. Well played indeed. Now, the B-Soft Clean Sky. That is a lot of flak cannons. Wonder if you're going to be able to take it. It has no shields, so yes. You basically just punched a hole straight through the middle of it. Well played. I imagine it's going to go more or less the same way this time. There we go. Ah, it's the spikes, you see. The fact that it has menacing spikes. Without those, it would be nothing. Let's see. I've got one more thing that I think I could add to it to make it menace even more. Oh no, I've got a little bit of... I haven't got it perfectly symmetrical. I just noticed one of the spikes on the back is not there. No, aim for his cockpit. I was about to say, don't shoot his fighters with those lasers. Shoot the important bits. There we go. Let's get in there. Nice and close. And engage. Burrow your way through. Beautiful. Look at the way he takes out this ship takes out enemy shields. They may as well not be there for the most part. Though that might hurt. He's going to burrow straight down the spine of your ship. Thankfully... Ooh, I don't know. It's going to get close. I worry about this one. This might be your first loss. No, you've cleverly turned around, but A lot of damage still. This is a close one. You're both pretty badly hurt. But he's got drones that can continue to apply damage to you. I fear you may have lost this one unless you can get in close. No, I think it's over. Ah, the laser prick wins. Drat. Okay. Well, let's see how this one goes this time. There we are. Come on. You can do this. This is the deciding round at this point. That's right. Keep rotating. Don't let him get a lot of damage on any particular part, though he has stripped your shields pretty convincingly. And you've lost a bank of weapons, unfortunately, because those plasma mortars can fire straight through your armor. Or rather, they don't fly through the armor, but they do splash damage, so the damage still gets applied to the vulnerable bits inside. Come on, you've almost got him. That's right, well done. Winner is Null, once again. There was not a moment of doubt. The DHC M3 Embargo. You've got a lot of chunky weapons as well. You're a much bigger vessel too. But we may be able to dig our way through. You've taken out one of his main weapons, but my lord, look at the damage he's done. Ye gads, that hurt. It seems that our enemies are using the design of their cockpits very effectively. You notice his cockpit is really far back, with all of his thrusters and his guns, but then basically the front of the vessel is just armor. So all of our weapons try to fire straight towards the cockpit at all times, so for most of this engagement, they're basically firing impotently at completely inconsequential pieces of armor. That was an interesting thing to see, because that's giving me some ideas. But I think, for the most part, I'm happy with our vessel. I don't think we need to add anything else. But maybe we could just add one or two of these. There we go. You've got a front-mounted weapon now as well. Also, I think perhaps we should scale this down. And, you know, kind of transition from the big spikes to the small spikes. It's important. There we go. So big spike to small spike, and then big spikes at the end as well. Let's rotate this around, though. Ah, I like that. That actually looks a lot better now. Yes. Okay. I'm happy with this. In fact, can we make this a really small spike? I don't know. That might be a bit silly, but we'll see. Is that going to look okay? Let's move these a little bit. Space them out a little bit more evenly. Yes, that looks much better. I like that a lot. Okay, it is time to end the suspense and to finally, at long last, reveal the name of this wonderful craft. It is going to be the Phoenix Quill. It is named for Million Fowl and is a fast strike frigate with charge weapons. I mean, I may have strayed a little bit away from the frigate, but I do certainly feel it's fast, and it's got charge weapons aplenty. So the Phoenix Quill has entered the fleet, and Million Fowl is the winner of the 4th day of reassembly. Now, to cover something that I have been asked a few times regarding when these episodes go up. Now, I try to give people as much time as possible while still being within the sort of day format to enter the contest. As a result, I sometimes stray a little bit more away from a day. Generally speaking, the episodes tend to go up within 1 or 2 hours either side of 24 hours apart. Or at least that's what I'm trying to aim for. It is a bit of guesswork because there are certain things that I can't control, namely how long YouTube is going to take to process out to all of its various resolutions. But generally, that's what I'm aiming for, because that gives... I understand that with time zones, it is especially inconvenient sometimes, especially considering some of my viewers not only don't live in the same time zone, they don't live on the same hemisphere as I do, so their time zones are completely out of whack with mine. So hopefully the delays with getting these up allows more people to take part, and you can all forgive me for that. But the Phoenix Quill has been added to the fleet. We've now got the HMSS Titanbot, the HMSS Nebuchadnezzar, the HMSS Nebula Bomb, and I should have changed this. The HMSS Phoenix Quill. Yeah, down there. There we go. I think this is quite beautiful. We are starting to flesh out our fleet. Mostly with big ships, but very different functions. We've got the Nebuchadnezzar, our missile boat. We've got the Titan bot, our drone boat. We've got the Phoenix Quill, our direct fire tank. I mean, it's probably more tanky than the others. Though the thing the Nebuchadnezzar has is that there's so much you have to break through before you can actually get to the cockpit. But the Phoenix Quill has a lot of armor around it and a lot of fairly hefty weapons as well. But that is really it from me. So the last things I want to say are congratulations to Millionfowl, well done on winning the 4th day of Reassembly, and commiserations to everyone else. But there are still several days left in which you are going to be able to throw your name into the hat with the hopes of winning a key before release, though release date is now right around the corner, I feel. But that is going to be the end of the episode. So as always, I hope you liked the episode and will be joining me for the next, but until then, do take care.